Hey internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow. Let me talk to everybody about what's going on with Sony PlayStation right now, because honestly it's very difficult to not talk about this shit. And honestly, a lot of people that they have been talking about the backwards compatibility thing for PlayStation 2, Xbox, you know, it's just been going on for a good while now. And for the most part, I've been saying this for a good while now. I don't really see why backwards compatibility is really all that important for Xbox, because really the only games that people have been asking for have been fucking Call of Duty games. Well, Call of Duty games, past Halo games, past fucking Gears of War games, and that's about it. Nothing else, man, from like the past of that fucking console are people really asking about, because I don't believe that they really. Because I'm not saying that it doesn't have any games out there for people to really give a shit about, but it seems though as that the fandom itself that they only care about a limited selection of games, whereas in terms of Sony confirming the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 4. I look at that and I'm like, well, that's actually a very viable thing, because if you look at the fucking collection of games that are on the original PlayStation 1, even though a lot of people like, again, going back to that generation, like when it first came out and that was our HD, it's like actually seeing actual HD and then going back to like the PlayStation 1 games, that's not really something in which that people would really be all that hyped to play, unless it's like a very big name game like Brave Fencer Musashi or something like that. However, taking it a little bit further for like the PlayStation 2, however, that is something that I can honestly see people actually going out and having fun with, because not only does the PlayStation 2 have a very it has a very diverse and very like stretched out collection of games, it's also the fact of that most of the games over there in which that like we actually play today, some of the bigger named titles, that they all started on the PlayStation 2, and pretty much it's like I could actually see this coming to fruition and them bringing it over. And honestly, it could be a good chance for them to go ahead and bring all that back, so that people that they could sort of go back and like experience all those games all over again, to where that you don't have to go out and buy a whole PlayStation 2 system, or God forbid, you know, like you have to constantly keep purchasing things online to go ahead and get some of these games back. And honestly, it does sort of bring a little bit of light back into some of the original games. However, I do wonder how like that. I do think that this could actually cut into some of Sony's actual profits in terms of some of their digital distribution for some of their PlayStation 2 games, because I do know that some of their more infamous games, such as God Hand, Personas, I believe is Digital Devil Saga, like the Ring of Red, all games like that they have been on the PlayStation system. I mean, like that they're sitting on like the PlayStation Store right now, you know, and honestly, you know, it's like that they did actually do bundles for like some of the Star Wars games, to where that they are bringing back some of the older Star Wars games like Super Star Wars for Super Nintendo, which is something that I really didn't even realize that they even had man the fucking option of putting up on their store, and also up on the Vita store, which is something that really blew me the fuck away. But other than that though, it's like you do look at it and it's like, well, of course, this shit right here, man, like it could be pretty fucking cool. It could be pretty fucking amazing. And honestly, I do really wonder where they actually can fucking take this, because again, backwards compatibility, it's fine and it's great for like PlayStation 2 games, of course, because there are so many fucking games to do that. However, you know, doing that shit for like an Xbox 360 again, well, not an Xbox 360, doing that shit for the PlayStation 3, because I know that some people that they will be asking how come they can't make PlayStation 3 games backwards compatible, but I don't think that that's actually a viable option because one, they do have PlayStation Now. You can pretty much get any fucking, or at least like most of the more popular PlayStation 3 games through that service, and especially you can like try that shit out for fucking 7 days with no problem. However, there's also another thing with that of saying like, well, can those games, can you pop those very complicatedly-esque program discs into a PlayStation 4 and get that shit to run without actually blowing your fucking system up? Not necessarily a very easy option to do, but also you do look at it and it's like, well, now you do have PlayStation Now for that. However, I am actually really happy though that it is necessarily coming out. But aside from that though, you know, it's like PlayStation 2, it could pretty much grow into something else, but who fucking knows? I mean, who really knows? And I know that there are people out there who don't really give a shit about this, because some people say that once that they beat a game that they're done with it, and I can fucking respect that. However, at the same time though, it's like, I do wonder if this is going to become I do wonder if this is sort of like an option for them to put out a brand new service like a PlayStation Now 2 or some shit like that, to where that they like just take PlayStation 2 games, port them over to that, and then you can easily download them. Actually, that's something that I don't even know why they haven't even done now, you know, because honestly, for Sony PlayStation, it's a thing of putting the backwards compatibility thing out there, and then having a function to where people can easily get PlayStation 2 games through their main systems. Honestly, I know that it will piss some people off, but realistically, I'm like, a PlayStation Now service, which does sort of wish that you do have backwards compatibility throughout the fucking console, and also they have this means of you can go in and you can rent these PlayStation 2 games, older PlayStation 2 games, more of the popular ones. Well, now you can't get Silent Hill, but you know, you could probably get something just a little bit better than that. And they can put that shit up on PlayStation 2 for you, and you can have a blast with it and have fun with it. Especially since like most of the older PlayStation 2 games, that they're not really all that taxing upon like the memory side. So along with like memory cards and shit, you know, and they sort of killed all of their Resident Evil momentum. They killed all of their Resident Evil like potential, but honestly, like, what's stopping them from going in and putting like the Onimusha series out there? What is stopping them from fucking putting out like way more other fucking video games that do sort of inspire a lot of like PlayStation 2-esque things? Like, I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little hesitant to say the fucking Full Metal Alchemist games. I'm really hesitant to say that, or the Marvel vs. Capcoms, or which they've already digitally did that, or pretty much what about the what the fuck was that shit? It was oh yeah, Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2. It was like, what's stopping them from putting those out there? Or, you know, putting out some of the older PlayStation 2 games, which really were really fucking good, really fucking amazing, and then just putting it into a service. Now, I know that I just jumped from one thing to another, but I do sort of think like that. That is how my brain sort of does that silly shit. But honestly, though, thinking about it, though, it's like PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility, that is a very amazing thing, and it's something that really wouldn't hurt to sort of come back. And if they can't do it, actually putting like a rental service, which I thought that is what PlayStation Now was going to be, even though people, they do fucking hate the shit out of it. I still sort of see some type of actual worth behind it, because it's a little bit easier, especially if like you don't have a lot of PlayStation 2 games, or like you sold all of your PlayStation 2 games and you want to get them back. Of course, that is something there. Please tell me what you think about this down there in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next John Graves Show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.